Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of EETV, where I try to bring you everything and entertainment, and we'll be doing more Trigun talk. Talking about the modernization of Trigun Stampede. And I don't know why it was done, maybe they're trying to get more fans on, but they did some tweaks to the story to appeal to today's audience. So let's begin with this. Now, the old mysteries from the first adaptation, all the plot points and parts of the story were revealed very early in lieu of other ideas. Now, what am I speaking about? I'm speaking about the origin story of Knives and Vash, them being shown on the seed ships, and how human beings were looking for a new planet, and because of Knives, they had to crash land on Gunsmoke. That wasn't revealed into the middle of the first adaptation, and we got that on the first episode of Trigun Stampede. Also, Knives being an adult being revealed in the third episode instead of being revealed as an adult in the last episode in the first adaptation. And we can also see Knives has plans for the plants, and that's something we didn't really get to see in the first adaptation. They were just more so focused on taking Vash out. Now, we'll move on from that and get to our characters. Let's start off with our favorite leading lady, Meryl Strife. Meryl Strife was an insurance agent in the first adaptation. Now she's a reporter. Why was this done? This was done because what would make more sense? An insurance agent following a person of interest around, or a reporter following a person of interest around? It's the reporter. That would make more sense. Now, am I in agreement with this? No. But I also saw that they dialed back her character some. Meryl Strife was also known as Derringer Meryl in the first adaptation, and she would defend herself with the numerous Derringer's pistols that she had hidden underneath her cloak. As of this far, even though this Meryl Strife has shown bravery numerous times and intelligence, we have not seen her wield a weapon yet. Matter of fact, the only person that we have seen wield a weapon is besides Vash and Roberto and all the other people in the show. I mean, out of the main cast, Roberto's wielding one Derringer that we saw and not Meryl. Now, with that being said, we'll go on to Roberto. Now, Roberto, he is the information broker of the show. Anything new associated with Trigun Stampede, he's explaining it. Hence, this is what we got in the fourth episode when they saw the glowing orbs, the glowing green orbs in the air, and he explained that those are worms. Anything new going on, he explains it. Or someone's nature, he explains that too. Just like when Wolfwood was there, he immediately calls him out as an assassin. So Roberto replacing Millie, addressing all the things from a wisdom a point of view when new people or things are encountered. That's what he does. We'll move on to the character that just made an appearance right now. My favorite character, Nicholas D. Wolfwood. He is an undertaker instead of a priest. Why was this done? I think to dial back on the controversy. Anime is more watched by Western audiences than it was back in the 90s. Now, him being a priest would be heavily controversial, because then you will have a priest running around deleting people and doing questionable things that priests shouldn't do. But I know that's what made his character great. The fact that this person had such inner conflict that he felt the need to step in and correct this situation with physical violence while trying to do the right thing. That's what made him a great character, because you could see him conflicting with this. Not so much in this one. They just delegated his role as an undertaker this time around. And that's just to dial back on the controversy. Now we're coming on to the star of the show, Vash the Stampede. The former $60 billion man, because that's what he was known in the first adaptation. Now $6 million now instead of $1 billion. Okay, now I've noticed in this version, Vash is slightly more passive in this adaptation. In the first adaptation, he was passive, but then he was sharp. You would know he had a wit about him, and you could see it in his eyes. Like, he could see that he was playing the fool, that he was not a fool, but he did that to put up a facade to kind of disarm people, to see if he can disarm them with his words instead of his weapons first. This one, not so much. I mean, he tries to do the same thing, but he's more passive this time around, and he doesn't show the same wit. Now, are they doing this to have him build up his character, that may be the point. Only time will tell. But that's one of the things that I've noticed, that he doesn't seem to be as quick and as sharp on the ball as he was in the first adaptation. But then again, let me not be too judgmental, because we're only 4 episodes in on this one. So I'm just going to leave it right there. Now, when we move on from the characters, we have some other points that we have to address. The original adaptation gave us brief glimpses of the advanced tech that the human beings had. This one, they went more into the advanced tech known as the lost technology. We got to see more glimpses of the mechs that they have. We also got a glimpse of the weapons technology that the human beings developed, the mines that E.G. Mine was utilizing, the vehicle he was using as well, the mask that turned into a mini helicopter for Sazi the Beast, and also the technology that he utilized to control the worm. Those are some of the things that we got into and see more of in Trigun Stampede, which is good. Some of the speculations about all of this we can give with this. Knives speaks about the ability to use a gate that he used in episode 3, something that he was trying to get Vash to use, which was revealed in the end of episode 4. And they said they would kill Vash in order to get him to utilize that, which leads me to believe he is utilizing some of the weaponry that the human beings to develop, along with his own tinkering, to have a device that triggers in either apocalyptic event that might wipe all the human beings in Gunsmoke very quickly, so he can have the planet for himself, or to terraform the planet. And during the terraforming process, anybody on the planet would perish, and then Knives and whoever he wants there will be probably floating above it. This is probably, I'm just taking a stab at this now. That factory that we seen him in, remember that first factory, if you seen the first adaptation, there was a underground automated war factory in the first adaptation, where once activated, that thing was completely automated, and it basically built weapons of war, the drones, and it could send them out for war without having to be, only human intervention needed was just to push the on button. I think that's where Knives is now. But he could either be there, or he could be in the floating city from the first adaptation. He could be on that, because how else could they possibly terraform the planet without being damaged, unless they're in the upper stratosphere in the floating city. But only time will tell to see if I'm right about those two things. They're attempting to get Vash to use it, so with me saying that Vash was being a little bit too meek and passive and not being as sharp on the ball, I think that's probably him trying to use his gate, because he knows Knives has probably some nefarious purposes for him using it. And I'm also saying this, that when Vash does use his gate, he's going to transform his prosthetic arm into the second weapon, rapid fire machine gun that we got in the first adaptation. And he also is probably going to use that to make the angel arms as well, probably further on down the line. Right, for I close this video, each episode tells what the character is doing, the environment, or what the main character is doing, or what they're feeling. In the first episode, No Man's Land is basically the harsh reality of the planet of Gunsmoke, it being barren, no water. The Running Man is what Vash was doing, running from some of his problems and trying to solve them at the same time, because he was running from his battle with the Nebraskas and was trying to settle his problems with words, not weapons. Bright light shine through the darkness. His first confrontation with Knives that we've seen in the new adaptation, and Vash being the bright hope that will possibly put the darkness of Knives to rest. And this past episode, Hungry, with the first appearance of Nicholas D. Wolfwood in his adaptation, and you've seen how everybody, the gun-ho guns, are hungry to accomplish their mission. And then not only that, the people of the planet, as shown in the bystanders, are hungry because of the scarcity of food and what they have on the planet. People are hungry, literally hungry to reach their goals, and also hungry for knowledge. And that's just some of the things. So what I have to say about this, the updates, some of them I do like and some of them I don't like. But overall, I would just say, with only being 4 episodes in, it is too early to tell whether Trigun Stampede is a flop or not. But definitely, I will be doing this again when we're midway through the series, and also when the series wraps up. I will be comparing the first and second adaptations to see who did it better in what instance of the story. I can see that they're only playing fast and loose with the source material, and they have a different agenda in mind for Trigun Stampede, and I want to see what it is because they've got my interest piqued, especially with the appearance of Knives having more people to his calls besides the gun-ho guns, and the appearance of that unnamed so far as episode 4, the plant girl that is with the doctor. Tell me what you think. Let's start a conversation in the comments section. Like, share, and subscribe if you feel like it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.